What up, everybody, and welcome to Baz on Blades. My name is Baz, and I talk about blades. And today, we're going to take a look ahead to the winner of the Budget Knife of the Year for 2019. And no, we're not really. And I know everybody is like, Baz on Blades, it's just March, dude. You need to chill. And I'm fully aware of that, guys, fully aware. But what I want to do is I want to talk about this year. I want to talk about knives as they go on to my list, my qualifying list for Budget Knife of the Year. And if you guys saw my recent review on the Civivi Wyvern, you will know in that review, I just said straight out this was going to be the first knife that went on the qualification list for Budget Knife of the Year as far as Baz on Blades is concerned in 2019. And it's D2 FRN, the best feeling FRN handles I've ever felt, guys. And I love this Dragon Scale, but it works really well in this rounded radius handle in FRN, guys. It does not look or feel cheap at all. I promise you, you're not going to buy this knife and say, it's too much money, FRN. You're going to be like, yeah, I get it. But anyway, you know, D2, FRN, bearing pivot, milled tie pocket clip, fantastic hardware. $48 approximately. That's the first entry for 2019 Budget Knife of the Year, the Civivi Wyvern. All right. Now, the next entry that I'm going to announce here is one that I recently reviewed. In fact, it's the last knife that I reviewed and posted, I believe. And that is the Steel Wheel Plague Doctor, the full-size 3.9-inch version. It's big, it's heavy, big and heavy. A folding fighter, fantastic design, and the action for a flipper on phosphor bronze bushings is absolutely the best I've ever felt for that type of build at any price point. At any price point, guys. It's fabulous. Now, I did not name this knife when I did the review video as qualifying for Budget Knife of the Year 2019. But I have been carrying this knife, and I've even carried it to work where I typically only carry a beater because of just how dusty it is. And it is big and heavy, guys, big and heavy. But it is such a deal at the price that it's at. $73 for the full size. They've got the smaller 3.4-inch blade version that is PM2 sized for slightly less in the 60s. And as soon as these things, everybody starts stocking them, guys, everybody needs to try this knife. It's absolutely the best folding fighter I've ever seen in a budget knife. Okay, so that's going to be our second entry for 2019. That's pretty doggone good, guys. I would hope to see... I just want to see this budget knife that at the point now that nobody knows what it's going to do. It's the quality and the material level and the fit and finish and everything on these budget knives is just improving exponentially. It is lightning in a bottle right now. The budget arena is on fire. It is more on fire than every other price niche put together, in my opinion. It's coming on like a freight train, improving. Now, let's talk about what makes a budget knife and turn this, what could be a short video, into a long-ass Baz on Blades talk about half of nothing. But let's talk about what's a budget knife. And you know what? Like many things, I judge everything on a sliding scale. If somebody came up to me and handed me a custom-made frame lock folder, flipper, just say a titanium frame lock folder, no fancy milling, no ano, blade steel of S35, M390, up the S35 and up level, and just custom level fit and finish action. If they handed me that knife and said, this knife is $350, I would say, that's a bargain, and that would qualify as a budget knife of the year at $350, because what it should have been priced at is $550, $650, and maybe more depending on who the maker is. That's the same as in the production world, finding, Kaiser has got a titanium frame lock in S35. It's usually around the $200 price point, but somebody throws it up for $129.99 with free shipping on Black Friday. Okay, well, what a normally priced knife just became a budget knife, guys, because that knife, that build level, that material, all of a sudden for 40% or 50% off is a budget knife. Now, if it's still something that's made and it's out there at normal price? No, I'm not going to call it a budget knife. But you see what I'm saying? Everything is on a sliding scale, and there's different levels in the budget world. Now, what if I told you that this is the best budget knife that I've ever seen for $25 or less? That's the Ganzo Firebird FH21. I think the best knife that they have ever made. My example is so good, guys. It is equally as good as the $52 Bestech G10 models that we all love. It's just as good, 100% as good. In fact, if it had Bestech on it, I would be like, oh, okay. That's how close it feels, guys. It is just absolutely the most perfectly done, well appointed, fabulous design, fit and finish, and the manufacturing is crazy compared to most Ganzo product. I'm going to tell you, the grind on this blade is so consistent and so even. It is awesome, guys. At $25, this knife is awesome. Awesome. And everybody's like, okay, well, that's $25, Baz on Blades. That's a budget knife. And you are totally right. I'm using this sort of as a threshold, okay? And this is absolutely fabulous at $25. I would think it would be absolutely fabulous at double the price if it had a different brand name on it. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is a little more expensive knife that I consider a budget knife. And believe it or not, a $150 budget knife. Now, this knife is not perfect, okay? And to say that I would love to buy another one at $150, I'm probably not going to agree with that. I love this knife, but one is enough. And the reason I consider this a budget knife is the materials, guys. Stop and think about any other manufacturer that does a high quality knife in these materials. All the copper and the bolsters and the backspace are marbled carbon fiber, this shreddy, stringy looking marbled carbon fiber. Those are materials you do not see that often in the production knife world. And to see them combined, I would rate at very rare, like maybe a pale blue unicorn walking down the street in the middle of your town. That sort of rare. And that's what I was looking at when I bought this knife. Now, if there's another knife out there and it is $400 and it's from a higher end, let's just pick Reate. Okay, let's just say Reate, because they do work with a lot of exotic materials and they are oh so fine of a knife. Good Lord, whether you like the design or not, they make a fabulous product. Say that Reate did a knife that had marble carbon fiber and copper at $400. I would look at that and I would go, okay, that's what a knife like that costs, because it is not readily available at any other price point. So to get something like this for $149, it's an exclusive to one dealer, so it's going to be a lower volume piece. Although, I don't think it's extremely low volume, and they'll probably do multiple runs of it. But it does have the exclusivity of being only available in one place. I think that it would qualify as a budget knife for what it is. Now, price only, it's not budget, guys. I mean, who am I kidding? $150, I would never tell anybody that's a budget knife, just based on price. But based on what this knife gives in materials and the lack of availability in those materials on the production knife world, and a total lack of availability of the combination of the two, maybe it's just me, guys. I cannot think of any knife on the production market that combines these materials right now. I mean, so there you go. Not the best blade steel in the world, VG10, but not the worst either. That was a fairly high-end steel not too many years ago, guys. It's not bad. And I think that would qualify as a budget knife if you looked at it the right way. Are you going to see $150 budget knives in the Baz on Blades 2019 Budget Knife of the Year shootout? Hell no, you're not going to see that, because, there's too many actual budget knives that are fantastic to stick something like this in there. You don't have to spend that much money. Let's talk about the $70 range. Well, we see Civivi knives that are up around that $70 range. They're made by WE. They are Chinese-made product, but if you are familiar at all with WE knives, they don't make crap. They make very high-quality knives at every price point that they make them at. I've had more than a few come through my hands, guys, at all their price points, and I've not seen a clunker yet. Maybe I didn't like the design, but I've not seen a clunker yet. So they've got the Civivi stuff, and Civivi is, their upper end stuff is around the $70 price point. And I want to bring something else out here that I would consider to be a budget knife, and that is the Kershaw bare knuckle flipper folder. This is a Kershaw American-made product. It is part of the Natrix line, the 7 Series line with the subframe lock, and it is done in aluminum handles with this sort of battleship gray hard coat anodization, black hardware. That is a stunning color scheme, guys. I love that. A very refined, more machined look in this subframe lock insert that screams quality. I love this pocket clip design and the way that it integrates into the milling pattern on the handle. I've always loved that in the Natrix series. A good utilitarian blade shape with plenty of point, plenty of belly. It's in 14C 28N, which is a Sandvik stainless steel. It's on the KVT system. Bearing pivot flipper. It's got a strong detent. It's a great flipper, guys, and I love the subframe lock design, and it's an American-made Kershaw at $70. $70, guys. And I'm going to tell you straight out, a $70 budget knife, hell yeah, that's what that is. That is a $70 budget knife. And if you're going to argue with that, then I'm just going to say you're arguing for the sake of arguing. Because even at $70, this is a budget offering. It's a bargain on top of it, and it's a fantastic knife. So let's come back here, get ready to close this out. We've got so far in 2019, the Civivi Wyvern, entry number 1 for Budget Knife of the Year 2019. Go look at that video, that review. I will try to post a link in the description section. And our second entry is going to be the Steel Wheel Plague Doctor. In this case, the full-size 3.9-inch version. The overall length, 9.5 inches. But remember, it is available in a mini version that is PM2 sized with a 3.4-inch blade that some people might find more appealing. They are heavy, they are big, but they are such a good design. The action is fabulous. Every bit as good as the Civivi Wyvern, guys. Number 1 and number 2 so far for 2019. So we're going to leave these right here and look at the size difference of these guys. Look at that. Yeah, that's big and small right there. All right. So budget knives, I hope I explained a little bit better how I look at budget knives. It is not just price, and there's not just one tier, and budget knives can be a little more expensive depending on how you look at them. And I think, a lot of people just instinctually, they look at knives that way when they're purchasing anyway to decide whether it's worthy of the purchase price on that, with sliding scale, with fit and finish and materials and availability and whatnot. But I'm taking that, to a whole new place and just applying it specifically to the budget arena. And because I don't want to get trapped in it has to be $50 or cheaper. Okay? And I mean, I could review $50 knives a week all year long. There's that many great knives in that price point available. But I think that is a little closed-minded as far as budget knives goes, and I think that it's going to leave out a lot that needs to be considered because they really are budget knives even at a higher price point. All right, guys, as always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch one of my videos. God bless all of you, and we will talk to you again.